So what have you gained with your experience at Colt? Turkey is actually the first country I visited outside of the United States, in Jamaica where I grew up. So I was a little nervous coming here. I knew that I was going to experience a little cultural shock, but being here and speaking with Turkish students, especially being a CC leader, has taught me a lot about Turkish culture, more than I ever could have imagined. I mean, you go to class with Turkish students, but a lot of the time it's a strictly academic relationship, and when you go out in a social setting, you're normally not talking about politics or issues relating to Turkish culture. So being here and speaking with masters and PhD students, and also freshmen who aren't from Istanbul but other parts of Turkey, you definitely do learn a lot more than you could ever imagine. I know some of the topics here were about food and what you do on weekends, and that blew up into about the Turkish military and what they thought about certain issues in politics. And it was really interesting because you do read a certain perspective in the newspapers and what you see on TV, but actually talking to students here who have very different opinions about a bunch of things was great, because you end up learning way more than you would in a Turkish history and culture class back home or even here. So I was really appreciative of them opening up and talking about a bunch of stuff. Okay, so do you think being a CC leader has had an impact on your career? I definitely think so. I'm a junior at American University in Washington, D.C., which is a huge international community, and my minor is in international business. And they've taught us back at my home university that knowing a second language and working with people from different cultures and different backgrounds is incredibly important if you're going to go into the international realm. So I would say definitely being a CC leader and communicating with Turkish students and learning more about their culture has been really advantageous, and something I'm going to definitely bring back home to my studies. And so what suggestions do you have for prospective CC leaders? I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous at first. It's kind of intimidating knowing that you're going to be one of 6 students who's instructing and speaking with a group of Turkish students who are anywhere from freshmen to masters and PhD students. My biggest suggestion would be to relax and have fun with it. I started a lot of the times my conversation circles with a very specific topic, and I had a plan about what questions I wanted to ask, but I quickly realized that you don't have to have a plan or specific questions. A lot of the times they'll want to learn more about where you're from or where college you go to, about your family, and so going with the flow and knowing what they want to learn about and kind of having the conversation flow a little more freely, and basically having fun with it is my biggest suggestion, because in the end they'll learn a lot of English and cat phrases they want to learn, and in turn you'll learn a lot about their culture and what they really want to find most interesting. Okay, so what amused or surprised you most about Turkish students? Being a CC leader, I have a huge appreciation for learning languages now. I mean, I'm from the U.S. I go to school at American University, and we come here and all the classes are taught in English, and obviously it's so easy for us because English is our first language. But what fascinated me most about Turkish students is that English isn't their first language, and they take all of their classes in English. So when they come here, you really realize how much they want to learn the language and how eager they are to learn specific phrases, and some of them bring their notebooks, and it's really great. And I think what I found most interesting was that you had students who were freshmen and in the ELC program, and you also had PhD students and master's students who still really wanted to improve their English. And so it was most of the time a really, really nice group and a really great mixture of people really just wanting to learn English, which is awesome.